Well, is it just me, or are you all completely awesome? I don't think it's just me. I don't think I'm prejudiced. Um, your discussion was quite wonderful in its depth and clarity, and the extent to which you generously shared your own personal experiences and made connections between those experiences and the readings. It was quite wonderful, and your responses to each other were awesome. So this is exactly the direction that I was hoping for, because when you connect the professional literature ideas with personal reference from your own experience or your own knowledge, that's when those ideas become meaningful. I'd like to review your post this week in the social worky context, of the ecosystemic perspective, starting with the individual systemic level. Several people mentioned individual outcomes of bullying related to the different appearance of the two siblings. Among those were problems with self-esteem, friction between the siblings, antisocial behaviors, I think it's important as social workers for us to have those ideas in mind as possibilities, but to suspend judgment so that we go into an encounter with a client without those judgments or assumptions, because clients surprise us. I've been surprised by clients for 30 years, and it continues. That is in part because there are vast differences in the balance of risk and protective factors in the lives of different individuals, and those differences lead to different perceptions of events. So two people, as we learned in our discussion of resilience, may experience the objectively same event, but have two completely different experiences. So that's important to keep in mind. Another issue is that, as you pointed out, family, parents, other loved ones heavily influence children's perspective. The family becomes the filter through which children experience and perceive their world and interpret their experiences. So, because we live in an environment, a social environment that is Eurocentric and hostile to many people, kids will have those negative experiences, but families will have a very strong influence on how kids experience what they experience. And as you pointed out, it's critical to help kids develop their ability to critically analyze what happens in their world. For example, if they experience some act of prejudice, parents hopefully will teach them to consider the source and give them information that lets them be confident in who they are and where their roots are, so that the oppressive experience is mitigated by the personal experience in the context of their own ethnic and familial environment. And somebody pointed this out, that positive ethnic experiences can outweigh the negative experiences related to oppression. And this actually has been discovered, there's a word with spin, isn't it? Many times in the professional literature. For example, kids who are more deeply rooted in their culture tend to have lower rates of drug use. That's one example. With regard to the next systemic level of ethnicity, more and more of us are not what we appear to be, as the rate of mixed race people is growing 5 times faster than the rate of single race people. So look out, those who think this is a homogeneous Euro-dominated culture. Too bad for Rush Limbaugh and company, because it isn't, and it's becoming less and less so. Oh no, it's hailing on my glass roof. Okay, I'll try to talk louder. Another issue that you pointed out was internalized racism in the community, in the family, and in the individual. And unfortunately, that is the outcome of living in a hostile environment that kids have to learn about and grow through. And as you pointed out, it can be expressed in lots of ways. One is parents even and other relatives valuing lighter-skinned or more European-appearing siblings over others, and that's very hard. And similarly, kids can develop negative self-perceptions just because they've internalized racism that is so abundant in our society. It's wonderful that more and more people in the Post are making connections between your ideas and the readings, and more people are actually citing the readings in your posts, and that's very important, since as a professional you will need to be able to articulate what your frame of reference is and where it comes from. So once again, talking over the hail here, I salute the effort and care that you're putting into your post, and I look forward to this coming week.